after BizForce and the BizForce training, basically. So yeah, Olivia asked me to share some stuff with you guys. I don't feel doing anything really special. I think you guys are all doing what we are also doing, but maybe there's one or two learnings that you guys can pick up from us today. Okay. So what I'm going to do today, Olivia, if you stop sharing, I'll share my screen, and then I'll basically just take you guys through what I'm going to do today. Okay. Okay, guys. So Olivia asked me just to share some stuff with you guys. So I just built 2 or 3 slides before we go into the actual training that we did with the team. So I just put a slide together to show you where everything fits in. And please jump in if you guys got questions through the slides. Jump in, ask me a question. So I've got a slide to show you what training we do and where it fits in. And then 2 or 3 slides around key learnings we've had with this training. And then I've got an example of March's training, which I'm going to quickly take you guys through. It will probably take like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm just going to fly through it. And then we've got quite a big Q&A session after that, where you guys can then ask me questions about the process, etc. Yeah. So let's jump into basically where it fits in. So in South Africa, you can see we've got 4 key pillars that we do with our training. The first is our BDR academies, which is like face-to-face training sessions, 2 days in the regions. We book a hotel, we bring all the BDRs together, we do a training session with them. So we've got CXC, BDR4, BDR and leadership academies this year. Then we've got courses on Workday, which is like structured sales courses. What we're going to focus on today is the Bees Academy. You can see we've got structured courses by month. Now, the marketplace or sponsored task training is every first Tuesday of every month. So we'll get into that. And then we've what we call the CAP sign-offs, the capability program in-trade CAP sign-off. So that's kind of the 4 pillars for capability. But now let's get into the marketplace learnings that you guys want to see today. Okay, so based on your email yesterday, Olivia, I just put some stuff together. So basically, I'm going to just show you the process and alignment to our social systems. So our social systems are basically in a meeting days. So which days do we meet? Then involvement of all our key stakeholders. So who needs to be involved in this session? So who's important to have there? Like a marketplace team, for instance, because they can answer all the technical questions, for instance. What are some of the tools we developed for the BDRs? So very simple, very easy to understand tools, not rocket science. I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's very simple, 2 or 3 pages. And then very important, the reward and recognition part of it. How do we link variable compensation and recognition of good performing individuals on a monthly basis? So that's kind of 4 of the key things I'm going to share today with you guys. And then I'm going to into the example. What did the training look like in March? So you can see what it actually looks like. So just very quickly on the process. So we've got our social systems. So I just want to close this little tab here so I can see what's standing here. But anyway, so we've got our sales meetings. So the weekly sales meetings are on Tuesdays for all the teams nationally. We've got 79 sales teams, and they meet every Tuesday from 9 o'clock in the morning till 10:30. And their structured agenda is basically a half-an-hour training every week. Then it's the previous week's follow-ups, and then it's the week's focus. So that's very much aligned to the global standard. What we do with Marketplace is every first Tuesday of a month, we do a training session just before the sales meetings. So we do a session from 8 o'clock to about 8:40, 8:45, which is then nice because then the content is fresh in their minds. It's at the beginning of the month, and they can then take their teams through it. So a bit of a recap of what the training was about. So what that looks like is every first Tuesday of a month, just before the sales meetings, we do a quick training session. It's basically what is the marketplace tasks for that month. Oh, and sorry, we call it marketplace tasks, not sponsored tasks. Okay, so when I say marketplace tasks, it's basically sponsored tasks. Okay, and there might be some additional Bees content we also train there. You know, so we do like 20 minutes on marketplace and then 20 minutes on other Bees features, such as Bees Pay that we did this month, etc. The audience is basically the full sales force. So it's the 440 BDRs plus the 80 sales manager was all invited, plus some of the commercial team as well. And we normally get at least like 250 to 300 people joining these sessions, which is quite nice. How the process works with stakeholders is basically like the last week of each month. Like, for instance, this month, we'll be now on the 25th. I'll sit with the marketplace team. we look at what is the deals for next month. So what is sold in for next month? What's going to be our focus for next month? We then work out some sort of a commercial argument for it. We build a sales call, and then the first week of that next month, when it goes on to deal, we basically train the sales force. But what we also do is we also train CXC. So the CXC is like an extension of our sales force. So on Salesforce, we'll put a marketplace task for the BDRs, but we'll also load a marketplace mission for the CXC agents on exactly the same deal. And we'll load a challenge for the customers on exactly the same deal. So you've got the challenge, the tasks, and the missions all aligned on the same deal. So we're kind of pushing it for all the stakeholders. So I think that's kind of a key thing to highlight. If we go to some of the tools to make it effective, firstly, it has to be a compelling deal. If you're going to a retailer, and in South Africa, to give you an idea of what our market looks like, 20% of our market is very formal. It's your typical wholesalers, your grocers, your big formal on-premise chains, etc. But 80% of our market is the informal or main market, we call it. So it's taverns, it's 80% of our park base. These outlets are they're not very structured, not very business orientated, and 90% of their sales is mostly beer. So to try and get other products in, you have to have a really good commercial argument. Okay, so that's the first thing. So have a commercial argument, so make it easy to sell it in. So what's the deal? Is it around pricing? Is it around higher higher margins? You're pulling more consumers into the outlets. What's the reason for them to buy this brand? Okay. The second thing is we then build a sales call that's got some of the product information, because if you're selling a product that's not an SAB product, the reps or the BDRs need information of how to sell it in, plus what's some of the execution guidelines they need to execute. So it's around pricing, it's about coverage. Do they have to merchandise it in a fridge somewhere? So what are those guidelines? What are we asking them to do? So that's important. Then we normally build a commercial argument for the BDRs to help them to sell it in. Very simple commercial argument. It's literally rands and cents. So this is the cost price, that's the discount. That's why it's cheaper than to buying it from a wholesaler, for instance. And what's the kind of the markup percentage you'll make on this product? Very easy. The rep can understand it very quickly and sell it in very quickly. And then we normally close the loop. Very important to close the loop by linking it to the variable compensation and also bringing CXC into it, because then CXC is like an extension of them. Okay. So that is kind of important to do with this. Okay. What are some of the learnings we had during the sessions? So firstly, keep the sessions very short. So for every topic, we keep it to about 15 to 20 minutes maximum. Very important to have a Q&A session. And in a Q&A session, we always have the marketplace team also attending this training, because they've got the technical answers for a lot of the questions, because there could be questions around stuff like short-dated stock. What happens if stock gets delivered that's damaged, for instance? Those type of questions we as a training team wouldn't have the answers, but a marketplace team has got the answers. Okay. So very important, have the marketplace team in there. Recognition, also very important in the session. So we can normally recognize this the best results. And then we ask the best performers to say a few words. So we ask them, just tell us what did you do? How did you drive your results? So there's a bit of recognition for them as well. And then the commercial arguments that we give them. Very easy to understand, must be simple. They must basically understand it quickly and be able to tell it to a customer. Okay. So having said all of that to you guys now, I'm going to show you what the training looked like, what these things look like, and then we've got a big Q&A session. Yeah. So marketplace task for March that we did this month. Let's quickly look at what it looked like. So in the agenda, we just quickly reminded them of the marketplace strategy. So what is marketplace? Why are we doing it? What is marketplace tasks? Why are we doing it? So that's just a quick reminder, one page on each. And then we went into the actual sales calls. Now for this month, we had 2 SKUs that was on, 2 brands that was on marketplace tasks. The one was Belgravia Gin, other one was Red Bull. So I'm going to show you quickly what it looks like in those 2. And then on task effectiveness, I'm going to show you last month's results. And then I'm going to show you how we're linking it to variable compensation. Okay. So the first part of the training, we just quickly said, okay, so what is Marketplace? Just a quick recap, where does it fit in? And basically what we highlighted to them was the two pillars we're trying to drive with these tasks is to increase our share of wallet of a customer, to ensure they are spending more of their rands with us. And by doing this, we're also driving new services. We're distributing new products to our platform, and we're becoming a bigger platform for the customers. So it's a one-stop shop. And we're also passing savings onto our customers and our consumers. So we kind of highlighted this to them to understand it. And then we said, okay, so let's look at where does the tasks fit in. So what is Marketplace tasks? Why is it important? We then highlighted to them that it's not something else we're asking them to do. It's part of their normal role. These tasks are part of the task that's in BizForce. And why is it important? It's because Biz is becoming a bigger platform. We're driving more what do you call it, products on our platform. We're becoming indispensable to the customer. It's helping them drive their KPIs and relationships with customers. Okay. So we kind of just highlighted this to them quickly. And then we went into the actual sales calls. So before we got to the sales calls, we just again highlighted what's the benefits, because I think this is important for them to help them sell it into a customer. So why should a customer buy this? And then we kind of highlighted these 5 reasons about the products at a great pricing. We're becoming a one-stop shop, so they can buy everything from us on one order. They don't have to leave their stores, because what happens in South Africa, a lot of these customers have to close their store because it's like a one-person store. They have to drive to a wholesaler to go buy these products. And then we're giving these new products, they're normally higher margin products, and it helps them pull more customers to their stores. So that's kind of nice arguments to use when you see a customer. But if we get into the sales calls, we then show them, let's look at the product information. So what they've got is the Belgravia Original Gin. They've got like a 1-page on their phone with all the information. It shows the SKU, what's the pricing, we need to merchandise it, etc. And we then also show them where do they find it on their phones. So what would it look like as a task? We did the same for Red Bull. We showed them which SKUs was in it. There's a 1-page like this on their phone as well, and it shows them the deals. Yeah. So then they knew what it looks like. That's the information. We then went into the actual calls. Okay, so let's look at these sales calls we developed for them. Okay, so firstly, what is in the sales call? It's the selling proposition, the commercial argument, what's the execution we asked them to execute, and what are some of the questions we think the customers could ask them. Okay, so on Belgravia, we then had these 5 points, what they can use when they go see a customer. So firstly, why should a customer firstly stock these brands? Because a lot of these customers don't stock it. And then secondly, why should a customer start buying from SAB if they are stocking it? So we then kind of, the first 2 is around, it's a very well-known product. It's growing in the main markets. Most of these customers normally just bought beer, but a lot of them are starting to stock spirits as well now. So this brand is now really targeted at this specific customer group. Why should they buy it from SAB? We're becoming a one-stop shop. If they buy it through us, they get free delivery, all the stuff they get from SAB, like all the services, like your Bees Awards, like your discounts, your settlement discounts, all of this applies to these products. Okay. And they're getting it at an amazing price. So that is kind of some nice, compelling reasons why should a customer buy it. We then show them, this is the commercial argument. We then show them, okay, guys, SAB's listing this at 821. Most of the best wholesalers are selling this at 859. But now that list price for SAB doesn't include a 2.5% settlement discount. So you're still getting a settlement discount for SAB as well. And if you have to go drive and go pick up this case, you could probably add another R3 per case to your cost price. So actual price that the customer is actually paying for SAB is around 800 and at the wholesale around 862. So there's actually quite a big saving from buying it from SAB. Now, if a BDR explains this to a customer, they normally quite can get high effectiveness. Okay, so that's kind of the commercial argument around Belgravia. And then we just gave them the execution priority. So what is this about? So this is to tell them, these are recommended seller prices you can recommend to your customers. And if they sell it at those prices, that's a profit they'll make per case and per unit. And that will be the markup percentages. So you can have some nice commercial discussions with your customers there. We then went into Red Bull. Same thing. What's the selling proposition for Red Bull? It's the market leader in energy drinks. If you start stocking this, because a lot of these customers don't stock Red Bull, but if you start stocking it, you can attract additional customers, especially younger customers. If you, SAB now offers this on our platforms. It's a one-stop shop. You can buy your beer from us plus Red Bull now. And if you buy in March, there's some massive deals. So that's why I've highlighted this to show the guys what the deals are. And again, the fifth point, all our other services applies, like free deliveries, Bees rewards, settlement discounts, etc., credit. So they can buy these products on credit as well. We then went into what is the actual Red Bull deals for the month. And it was 2. So this is very much driving non-trading customers to start trading and to start buying it. So we looked at a base of non-trading POCs in our main market base. Now, if they haven't bought Red Bull in the last 12 months, the first deal was around buy a case of Red Bull, get a 100 Rand discount. Very simple, very easy. Buy it. It's quite a nice big discount. The second deal was for our irregular trading POCs. So we looked at customers that didn't buy for 3 to 12 months. If they bought 2 cases now, they get 70 Rand discount, which is then 35 Rand a case discount. So that's more to get irregular traders that's previously bought it, just to start buying it again. Then we went to the commercial argument for them, and we said, okay, so these are the SKUs that's on it. That's the list price. That is a recommended selling price for a single unit. So if you sell at that price, you're going to sell your 24 units. That's the profit you'll make. And then we showed them on deal 1, they're actually making 57% markup. It's 56.9. I just ran it up, and so now quickly, I can't see here. Let me just hide this. And on deal 2, you're making 24 Rand because there you're getting 35 Rand a case discount. So it's very nice. How can I say, markup percentages for customers as well. Then we went into some anticipated questions. So what are some of the questions your customers could ask you around these deals and products? So the first one we said was, should I place these products in SAB fridges? What we then said is, yes, we've got a deal with Red Bull. So with Red Bull, we've got an agreement to put it in the top right, 4 facings in our fridges, continue doing that. But with Belgravia, there's no deal. We're just distributing it, so you don't have to put it in our fridges. Secondly, will I get these products on credit and receive our discount? Said, yes, if you buy this from SAB, all the SAB services apply. So you get your discount, you get your free delivery, your Bees rewards, you can buy it on credit. All of the services apply. And then lastly, we'll pack and stack merchandise. So Pack and Stack is our merchandising company. We said, no, we just basically continue stocking these we're currently stocking it. The merchandise is only stock basically SAB products. And then we basically went into what's in it for them. So now I said, okay, but now let's look at last month, and then let's look at what's in it for you guys this month. Okay, so on variable compensation. So we looked at last month across the country, the 4 regions. How did we do? We ended off at like 19% effectiveness, but you can see Cape region is already hitting like nearly 30 to 32%. And then we highlighted top performing BDR, which was called Patomi Rangata. He hit 64% effectiveness on his marketplace tasks. And we then asked him to basically explain what he did, what did he do different, what are some of the tips he can give to other guys to focus on. And then we went into this month. So we had some savings previous months of variable compensation. We're now using that savings into this month's variable compensation to drive incremental volume firstly, and secondly, marketplace tasks. So this month, there's a 20% multiplier on top of the normal variable compensation if they can achieve a 40% marketplace task effectiveness. So the normal variable compensation will give them the 100% if they hit all the KPIs. There's a 50% multiplier this month on core plus brands plus Flying Fish 660. So those are like high net revenue brands we're pushing that we are currently struggling with at the moment. We've got high stock levels. And then we're putting this marketplace multiplier on top of that. So basically this month, the BDRs have got an opportunity to get 170% on their variable compensation. So like I said, we're funding it from savings from the previous 2 months, but the guys didn't hit the incentives. And yeah, then we went into questions. We gave the guys a Q&A session. And yeah, and I think at this point, I'm going to open up for questions now for you guys. Olivia, questions?
No, I just want to maybe share with them, Jaco, how is that like process that you guys ask the best BDRs what they have done to achieve the great results that I noticed in the training that I attended was great to share, like between them, not leadership to BDRs, but BDRs for BDRs, the best practices.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So in that session, like I said, we've got all the BDRs and the sales managers, everyone attending. So we then actually highlight the best BDR. We kind of give them a bit of a hand clap and you know, they're normally very happy. And then we allow that BDR to share their practices with their peers, telling the other BDRs what they do, what they did differently, what did they focus on. And yeah, a bit of peer learning. Yeah.
And this is great because gives them visibility on their performance and also like gets the other BDRs excited to do their best. So it was super, super nice. And another thing that I wanted to highlight is not a question actually, but I just wanted to highlight is that it was super nice is having all like the leadership involved in this training that Jaco mentioned it. It happens once a month at the beginning of the month because the BDRs can see that it's not only like a Biz Academy training. It's important for everyone. So not only for the customers, but for the BDRs, for the team, for the leadership. So it's very great, like putting everyone together, aligning everything with all the teams and stakeholders. So it sounds great.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
then I have a question there as well. And first, Jaco, this is amazing. Thank you so much. I already said it, but thank you. It's really great. And just adding to what Livia said, it's not only like sponsored tasks and missions, it's pushing this, but it's great for marketplace, right? Like marketplace as marketplace bees. So and then my question is, can you like talk a little bit more in detail? How's your process internally with like frontline marketplace? Do you guys do meetings? How's the process internally to align this?
Yes, 100%. Thanks so much. Yes, so we're kind of lucky in South Africa that the marketplace team and myself, which is in the capability team, we both sit in the tech sales department. So we're actually in the same team. So what we normally do is the last week of the month, we have like a brainstorming session where we sit together and then we chat. Okay, so what is your deals for next month? We then look at the deal structures that they've negotiated with the marketplace partners. They then decide, okay, which of these tasks are we going to load onto as tasks for this month, and what POCs are we going to target? So they would, for instance, say like Red Bull, you saw now, POCs that hadn't bought in 12 months, that has never stocked it, for instance. They'll set up a deal with that. And then the other deal they'll set up with POCs that bought like between 3 and 12 months lot. You know, so it's customers has bought it, but haven't reordered. So that will then be the focus. Then we said, okay, so these are the outlets that's targeted, or the POCs. We will then sit with Ruan that loads the tasks onto BizForce. He will then load it onto the reps' phones. So now we've got the deals. We then work out what's the commercial argument around it. You saw those quick calculations we did, you know, on the margins and stuff. We then build the training at the end of the month. And then the first week of the next month, we then do the training with the guys. I normally send out like a Zoom invite like the week before. And then the training is done on Zoom. And like I said, we try to keep it like 15 to 20 minutes and then a lot of questions, etc. And we try to use the same type of look and feel and agenda every month. So the guys get used to it. They know it's a sales call. It's got a commercial argument. It's got anticipated questions. So it's very similar. So it's very quick for them to learn it. So that's the training. And then directly after training, we send the content to the sales managers. And in the sales managers, each sales manager got about 5 or 6 BDRs in their team. They will then sit in their team, just quickly discuss the training, any questions. If they've got other questions, they'll email it to us. And yeah, and then they run with it.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, this is Ailu from Argentina. Thanks for sharing all your knowledge with us. Quick one here. How are you defining how much time are you making available from the whole BDR's time in the POC? Because we are trying to understand how much time we make available for marketplace tasks. And so if you could share with us, it would be great.
Okay, that's actually, I'm probably not the right person to answer that, but I'll try and answer that because that's part of the actual BizForce team does time allocation to the specific task. So they would normally go look at how long the task would take to sell it in. They would probably then quantify it as 5 minutes or 10 minutes to sell it in, and then they just add it to the task for that week. So normally these tasks are loaded as a monthly task. So you'll either then spend 5 or 10 minutes in the first week doing it, and you don't have to do it again because if the customer's ordered. But yeah, the actual time allocated it's very difficult for me to quantify that. I don't work with the resourcing, but yeah.
Okay. Another one, despite these coverage tasks, are you selling any execution tasks?
Yes. Yeah, we do. So this month it was not coverage, but we do have execution tasks. For instance, Red Bull placement, 4 facings in the right of the fridge has been execution task for us previously, for instance. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
Ilo, maybe if you want to, you can connect you with the BizForce team from South Africa if it's
Yeah.
like would be great. Because Jaco first for capability, so
Okay, sure.
let
Yeah,
us
I'll
there's
know.
a guy.
send you Lorraine's I'll send Lorraine WhatsApp number, which is the person there in BizForce head. It's like you or Santiago. And I can also send you like Hafet in other countries for you to talk to the tech salespeople.
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Livia.
Cool.
Thank you, Jaco. You're perfect. I'll
Hello.
just read no, you are. Oh, I don't know. Oops. I'll just read a question that is on the chat. I think you missed. Is how do you follow? How you do the follow-up of the tasks? Who do you include in the meeting, and what frequency do you do it? From Manuela Uribe.
Okay, sorry, I kind of heard there. Let me just open the chat here quickly. I just want to quickly check here. How do you follow up on the tasks? Who do you include in the meetings, and what frequency do you do it? Okay, following up on the tasks. So that's the task effectiveness. We've got like a report we get from the BizForce team that shows the actual task effectiveness by week, where they send out, okay, so we're sitting at 5% now, 10%. They normally send it to the CXC as well with the BizGrow task. So there's a follow-up, but it's normally with the BizForce team, which is Ruan, and the Biz Marketplace team to follow up, yeah. I don't know if that answered the question. Is that what you meant? Okay.
Perfect. Any other questions, team, regarding the trainings or anything else?
I have a question regarding variable compensation. You mentioned something in the call, but you mentioned that you're incentivizing the full kind of marketplace tasks. Yes, but are you
Yes.
distinguishing between the sponsored marketplace tasks from the regular marketplace tasks or not?
No, we keep it as one. So sponsored
Okay.
task, we just call marketplace tasks in South Africa. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
but it's just, yeah. So if we say marketplace tasks, we mean sponsored tasks. And no, so coverage tasks, all the tasks are all the same for us in marketplace. So marketplace tasks, okay. So there's no distinction. Yeah.
Okay, but you do have some marketplace tasks that are not sponsored.
No, they're all sponsored tasks. Yeah, no, they're all. So
okay,
we
okay.
actually call we call sponsored tasks marketplace tasks. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
no, because here in Argentina, then it's different because we have some kind of general marketplace tasks that are not
Yeah.
sponsored. So that's why I was.
Oh, okay.
But okay.
Sorry, no, we just changed the naming for it to keep it under the marketplace grouping. But if I say marketplace tasks Africa, it's sponsored tasks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
They don't do training for global tasks either, which would be generic tasks, which is Jaco is from Academy under tech sales. So he doesn't do training for global tasks. That is generic category tasks, right? That you know. From the there's BU tasks and
Yes,
there's global
yes.
tasks. Global tasks is generic marketplace tasks, and BU tasks is what they upload in admin portal. Jaco
Yeah, but
does
they're in the
training
variable
for sponsors.
compensation. Yeah, but
Yeah.
but they're in the global in the compensation, despite JCO responsibilities for the VDR. I mean, for the VDRs, I mean they don't realize or they don't care whether it's a global or a local task.
Exactly.
For them, they are all marketplace tasks, and there you
Yeah,
have
exactly.
the global and the local ones. So they will have
Yeah.
both sponsor and not sponsor tasks. But is that correct or not?
No, for specific SKU tasks, it's only sponsored. That's
Yeah.
And then for categories, there are some countries that add category tasks like increase the sales of non-alcoholic beverages or
Yeah.
like mercearia, etc.
Okay.
Here I have a question. I work with Ailu from Argentina. Jaco,
Yes.
thank you. You mentioned something connected with variable compensation. Your sales rep or BDR would be able to gain more than or like an extra money if they over deliver in terms of sponsor task or some KPIs.
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay,
what
and
we've
that is, how is that funded? Like with price?
it's funded from previous month savings. So normally we get it to about a 67% payout. So at least 30% that we've saved for the previous months. What we then do is we kind of repurpose that money and put it as multipliers. We call them multipliers on top of the variable compensation for next month to drive incremental KPIs. So for instance, this month we need to drive our Core Plus and our Flying Fish, our FABs volume aggressively because we have high stock levels and we're not hitting volume there. So that's why we put a multiplier there. And we're also putting 20% multiplier on top for marketplace tasks. But 40% marketplace task effectiveness is a fairly high, how can I say, target. So normally only about 20-25% of the BDRs actually hit that. So it's kind of rewarding meritocracy. So to make a short answer, we fund it from previous month savings as long as we get into the quarterly budget on variable comp.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
More questions, team? I think this is it.
Nice.
So perfect. Thank you so much, Jaco, for all the learnings and insights that you gave us. And team, if you guys have like more questions, you can talk to Jaco on the parallel. We can share his contact. And thank you so much, Jaco. Was perfect.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. And the questions that couldn't answer, maybe send us the questions. I can send it to the marketplace or the BeesForce team. And yeah, you can probably get the questions answered for you guys.
Super.